Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive into something pretty wild?
I know I am.
Okay, so get this. We're talking about the possibility of actually cloaking Earth.
Like hiding it.
Yeah, hiding it
Yeah.
from aliens,
Oh, that's a headline.
right? And the method. Lasers. We're going deep on a New York Post article and some research from Columbia University, all thanks to a YouTuber named Tyler from Secure Team.
So we're talking about, what, hiding from ET with lasers? This is going to be good.
You better believe it. Let's start with NASA's Kepler telescope.
Oh, yeah, Kepler. What's it found now?
Well, it's discovered a whole bunch of new planets, something like 104 of them. But one star system, K272, is particularly interesting to scientists.
Okay, what's so special about this K272?
Well, get this. It has 4 planets that scientists think could actually be habitable, even though they orbit closer to their star than Earth orbits the sun.
Closer. Wouldn't that make them super hot?
You'd think, right?
Yeah.
But that's where it gets really interesting. The star in K272 is way smaller and dimmer than our sun.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, so even though the planets are closer, they could be receiving radiation levels that are similar to what we have here on Earth.
So maybe we need to rethink what we consider a habitable zone then.
It definitely makes you wonder. But how can scientists even tell if these planets are anything like Earth?
Well, they're working on analyzing the atmospheres of these planets, looking for certain gases and compounds.
Kind of like how we can detect oxygen in Earth's atmosphere.
Exactly. They're looking for similar biosignatures that might suggest life.
Okay, so we're looking for life out there. But here's where things take a seriously strange turn. Some scientists believe that the reason we haven't found more planets like ours is because they might be hiding from us.
Hiding, and that's a new one.
Yeah, and that's where that research from the Columbia University astronomers comes in. They've proposed using lasers to cloak Earth.
Cloak Earth. Okay, hold on. I need to hear more about this. Lasers. How on Earth could we use lasers to hide a whole planet?
Right. Well, the idea is to basically mask the specific signs of life that might give us away, like the oxygen in our atmosphere. They think we could use super powerful lasers to basically make those signs disappear, making Earth look way less interesting to anyone looking in from afar.
So it's like an invisibility cloak for the planet. But why would we want to hide in the first place? Why not just, say hello to our alien neighbors?
That's the big question, isn't it? There's this huge debate about whether it's actually a good idea to try and contact aliens. Remember Stephen Hawking? He was pretty vocal about the potential dangers.
Hawking, he was definitely worried about attracting the wrong kind of attention.
Right. Like, what if they're not so friendly? But let's get back to the lasers for a second. Tyler, the YouTuber we mentioned, has been talking about how there's been a ton of laser activity spotted at observatories around the world lately. He even has footage of a super powerful laser shooting up into space from Australia. No one seems to know exactly what these lasers are for, but it's definitely making people wonder.
Interesting. I mean, the Columbia study did some calculations on how much laser power we'd actually need for this whole cloaking idea to work. Turns out, to mask those life signs in our atmosphere during a planetary transit, we'd need a laser with a peak power of 160 kilowatts.
160 kilowatts. That's intense. But what about hiding the whole planet? Would that take even more power?
To actually make Earth's transit signal disappear completely, like making it look like Earth isn't even there, you'd need a constant 30 megawatt laser blasting for about 10 hours a year.
Those are some seriously mind-blowing numbers. It's hard to even imagine the kind of technology we're talking about here.
It's wild, isn't it? And it really makes you think, is all this laser activity just a coincidence? Or could there be something more to it? Like, what if other civilizations out there are already doing this? What if they've figured out how to cloak their planets, and that's why we haven't found them yet?
That's a pretty crazy thought. Maybe we're not alone after all, but we just haven't seen them because they're hiding. Makes you think about the whole search for extraterrestrial intelligence in a totally different light, doesn't it?
It really makes you wonder, Like, if we're even thinking about this, wouldn't other civilizations with better tech already be doing it?
That's a good point.
Ah.
But thinking about hiding from aliens, it feels a little, I don't know, backward. We've been sending out those radio signals for ages, basically shouting, "Hey, we're here!" to the universe.
Yeah.
Wouldn't cloaking be the exact opposite of that?
It'd be a big shift, that's for sure. Think of it this way. We've been sending out these "hey there" messages, hoping someone friendly picks up.
Right, like a cosmic, how do you do?
Exactly. But what if we aren't quite ready for a response?
So it's not really about hiding, but more about being, I don't know, careful, taking things slow with first contact.
Exactly. It's like, exploring a new place. You want to be a little careful, learn a bit about the place before you announce you're there.
Okay, I get that. But wouldn't cloaking also make it harder to find other civilizations too? If everyone's hiding, how are we ever going to find anyone?
That's the tricky part, isn't it? Trying to stay safe, but also maybe isolating ourselves at the same time, makes you think if those methods we use to search for aliens, like listening for signals, would even work if everyone's gone quiet.
So it's like this weird standoff. We're afraid to reach out, but also don't want to shut ourselves off completely. What if we're missing chances to connect with friendly aliens because we're too scared?
It's possible. Imagine that there could be others out there just as curious as us, but also just as cautious.
Right, waiting for a sign before showing themselves.
Exactly. So are we just being too
Are
paranoid?
we missing out on some amazing opportunity because we're so worried about a hostile encounter?
It's hard to say, really. We're working with, well, not a lot of information, like trying to solve a puzzle with half the pieces missing.
Sure.
We don't know what's out there. Could be amazing, could be scary, or maybe something we haven't even thought of yet.
You're right, it's totally uncharted territory. And that's part of why it's so fascinating for me.
For sure. It gets the imagination going, makes us question what we think we know, and think about our place in all of this.
Okay, so we've talked about why we might want to cloak Earth. But what about the other side? Why would anyone want to risk letting possibly dangerous aliens know we're here?
Well, some people think the benefits of contact are just too big to ignore. Think about the possibilities. Advancements in tech, medicine, maybe even energy.
Like solving some of the big problems we've been struggling with forever.
Yeah, like two heads are better than one, but on a cosmic scale. Imagine what we could learn from another intelligent species.
It's true, we could learn a lot.
Right. Plus, some people say trying to hide is, well, pointless. If a really advanced civilization wants to find us, they probably will, no matter what we do.
Like trying to hide a pebble on a beach. No matter how well you bury it, someone with a metal detector will find it eventually.
Exactly. Like our tech now, maybe we can make ourselves invisible for a little bit, but against something way more advanced, probably wouldn't be enough.
So it's like we're stuck. We might be safer hiding, but then we miss out on all those amazing possibilities.
Yeah.
And even if we try to hide, it might not even work anyway.
That's the problem, isn't it? Deciding to cloak Earth, it's a huge gamble.
And the stakes are incredibly high.
Right. We need to really think about the risks, the benefits, and what's right.
This has been, I don't know about you, but pretty thought-provoking. We've looked at cloaking Earth, why we might do it, and the arguments on both sides. But what now? What comes next in this whole, I guess you could say, cosmic conversation? Feels like we're at this, I don't know, turning point in how we think about the universe. Like a few years ago, this whole cloaking Earth thing was pure science fiction.
Yeah, it was.
But now it's something we're actually discussing. And like we've been saying, it's a huge decision. I don't know if there even is a right answer.
That's true. It really is. It makes us think about all our worries and hopes for what's out there. But what if we change how we're looking at this?
Okay, what do you mean?
Instead of just the how of cloaking, let's think about the why. Like, why do we even want to hide in the first place?
Well, I think part of it is, well, fear of the unknown. You grow up with all these stories about aliens invading.
Right.
Right. Stories about bad encounters and whole civilizations being wiped out. It's hard not to, I don't know, think about those stories when you think about what might be out
It's
there.
natural, right? We take what we know, our experiences, and kind of put them on the unknown. Look at history. Conflict's been a part of it forever, one group against another. So it makes sense to think, well, maybe a super advanced alien civilization would do the same to us.
So we're judging them based on, well, our own history, which, let's be honest, isn't always that great.
Yeah.
But is that fair? Can we really say aliens would be like us, all aggressive and wanting to take over?
That's the thing about assumptions, right? We don't really know anything about alien life. What if they've evolved past all that? What if they're, I don't know, peaceful, cooperative in a way we can't even imagine?
That's a pretty wild thought. Imagine a civilization that's figured out how to get along, that values, I don't know, working together more than anything else. Meeting them, that could change everything for us.
It could, couldn't it? It could change how we see ourselves, our place in the universe, give us solutions to all these problems we have. But we won't know if we're hiding, stuck in fear and uncertainty.
So how do we balance, I don't know, being careful and being curious? How do we move forward without being totally paranoid or putting ourselves in danger?
I think we need a bit of both. We have to keep exploring, looking for signs of life, learning about everything out there.
But at the same time, we have to be ready for anything, right? Whether that's figuring out how to communicate, what to do if we meet friendly aliens, or, yeah, even things like cloaking, just in case.
You got it. Deciding to cloak Earth, it's not a simple decision. It's something the whole world has to work on together, talk about, and yeah, really think about what we're afraid of and what we hope for.
This whole deep dive, it's definitely made me think. It's crazy how a question that seems pretty simple can lead to, well, big questions about us and where we fit in all of this.
It just shows learning never really ends, you know? There's always something new, a surprise around the corner. And the more we learn, the more we realize how much we still don't know.
Totally agree. It's given me this sense of wonder, and I appreciate, I don't know, the mysteries out there even more now. And who knows, maybe someday we'll have the answers we're looking for.
Until then, we gotta stay open, keep asking questions, and keep looking up at the stars.
That's a great way to put it. Thanks for joining us on this pretty incredible look at cloaking Earth and all the mysteries of space. Until next time, keep exploring, keep thinking, and keep wondering.